Welcome, captive audience, to my presentation about social media. This presentation will consist of the history and definition of social media, an overview of algorithms, and just general tips to help you get the most out of your social media experience. I can already sense your Gen Z gaze wandering toward your phones. I see you, prisoner number 436, eyes on the screen. Anyway, I'm really desperate to reach you kids, and even more desperate for you to think I'm cool, so here's my reworked title card. Alright, let's give this the good old FadeDragontear one-over. This is an insane topic to tackle because it's such a broad, all-encompassing thing. I'll just let you guys know that at the time of this writing, your teacher and I only had a vague conversation about me lecturing about, quote, social media, end quote, so I'm kinda just gonna do my thing and see how that goes. The definition of social media has changed over the years and continues to do so. I would say it's basically any form of communication through any form of media that the public has access to, so I consider things like smoke signals or newspaper editorial sections or classified ads as early forms of social media. More recently, the definition has been updated to only include electronic media. There's a bit of early internet stuff I could reference, but our story's gonna start with this guy. Bonus points if you recognize this guy. His name is Tom, and at one point he was a close personal friend to everyone on the internet by default. He founded MySpace, and to this day is worth around $60 million. Back in the 1960s, this dude named Marshall McLuhan said the medium is the message, which sounds like gibberish, but from what my peanut-sized brain can glean, it essentially means that the platform in which the content is delivered has a vital impact on how it's received. The Heritage Minute about it adds the comment, "The content must be the audience," which was also complete gibberish even in the 90s, but I'll leave it for you to decide if he was a time traveler, really insightful, or just some hippie from the 60s that smoked the wrong stuff and said a thing that I'm completely misinterpreting. So, for those keeping track, and without explaining the minutiae of general relativity or what a heritage minute is, the timeline so far is smoke signals and cave paintings in like 200 BC, like 1440-ish with the invention of the printing press, 2013 with my boy Tom, who's definitely gonna hit me up soon because he wouldn't forget one of his oldest and dearest internet friends, some drug-fueled year in the 60s, heritage minutes in the 90s, and then basically the current era in that exact order. I hope you were paying attention, because that's an exam question and you're not allowed to rewind or rewatch this video. The point is that it's important to consider what platforms best meet your goals. There's a lot of considerations, and a lot of it's unique to the type of media you create. There's a ton of social media platforms nowadays, and even more ways that they're being used by individuals, companies, and even governments to raise social awareness, advertise, entertain, or whatever else is going on the weird corners of the internet. A journalist will have different goals and a different audience than a comedian no matter what platform they're on, but some platforms and users will definitely favor comedic content over journalism and vice versa. That's just one example, and hopefully you get the point because I'm too lazy to come up with more. I'm also too lazy to go over every social media platform that exists, because the idea of that bores even me as I'm writing this script, and it'll be outdated by the time this lecture is over. Instead, I'm going to break down how I understand electronic content delivery to actually behave in the current era. So, there's this thing called an algorithm. My peanut-sized brain understands it as a complex math equation that solves a problem. The problem could be anything, but in terms of social media, we're often looking at content discovery algorithms. So, each social media platform acts differently, but they all basically exist for the same reason, which is to sell ads. The general formula is that most platforms will favor you if your content gets a lot of clicks, brings new users to the platform, keep current users engaged, or generally lead users to the eventuality of clicking an advertisement. There are a few ways to help your chances, such as creating content that stands out as engaging, proper tagging, understanding metadata and trends, and quite a few other tricks we'll go over. The first thing we should cover is the only guaranteed method of gaining consistent traffic in large amounts, which I'm calling payola.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar.
Payola isn't the common term used nowadays. By definition, it relates to the music industry in specific, and is an illegal practice for certain types of broadcasters that accept cash in return for airtime. When I speak about payola in social media, it's a similar thing, but it's been rebranded and worked into the advertising systems and is open to basically anyone. It's not illegal as far as I know, and you can buy as much reach as you want on any of the existing platforms directly from the platforms themselves, and they'll love you for it. In fact, they'll bend over backwards to help you find the exact type of users you wish to reach. Generally, if you aren't working for a brand or a company or have some kind of really solid revenue plan, this isn't a very economic option. It does, however, guarantee that your content will be seen.
Digging, shoveling dirt, the kind of work that when you get home your back hurt. Blood stains cover your shirt, it's real work,
Congratulations, if that title card is relatable, you have some semblance of common sense and at least a tenuous grasp on reality. I suspect there's at least 1 or 2 people in your class already looking up how to throw down a few bucks to become the next big thing. Good luck to them, I've seen it work many times. I would just advise to invest a lot of time into planning a monetary strategy to maximize your return. So now, for those who haven't immediately dropped out to become overnight social media influencers, your instructor's still here, right? For the rest of us, there are still paths to reach whatever goals it is that we have without the cheat code. The first thing, and really essential to basically everything else in my opinion, is the content itself. It doesn't matter what you're creating, if people are engaged and the content has sufficient metadata, that's going to show far more reach than any dollar amount you could throw at any given project.
Not in type to ramble on about something everyone knows.
Now that I've said it 3 times, we've Beetlejuiced the metadata demon, or Candyman, or Bloody Married, or whatever you prefer. Essentially, it's what any given platform uses internally to rank content priorities and sends out externally to the internet to be picked up by search engines. So for example, if I wanted people interested in metadata to find my content, I would put the word metadata in every applicable place it can go. This works the same for every possible combination of letters. It's essentially how the internet indexes and ranks all of its content. The real bulk of the search engine optimization game is understanding how the indexing and rankings work for each platform. Each one is unique, some are automated, some are ranked by users or internally by employees. Some favor clicks, some favor session time, some favor user interaction. Each platform also has a unique take on how transparent they are with the ranking system. Some keep it out in the open, some do their best to hide this information to prevent users from attempting to game the system. If the platform has a development blog, that's a great place to start the search for the deeper intricacies on how it works. Anyway, this is starting to feel a little bit academic, so I think I'm done here. I don't think I have the authority to just set you COVID-infected gremlins free. I should probably do some kind of an assignment thing, but I'll just encourage your teacher to give you the rest of the class to slack off and enjoy your youth, because I'm cool like that. Well, that and one of the ideas for assignments was looking up the school on various platforms, and oh man is that opening up a can of worms. Anyway, hopefully this was somewhat informative or entertaining. I hope you all have a great day. Stay awesome, guys. Peace out.